We have one more speaker left, and then I'm going to open it to questions. So get your questions ready. Minister Blakeney, the candidate for constituency 13. You now have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Madam Premier, to my fellow panelists, and to all of you. First and foremost, thank you all for availing yourself tonight to come out and listen to quality that the PLP has to offer you in the service of your beloved country. This is a very serious election, and it's very serious times. And what really warms my heart is that I see young people, notwithstanding the iron cloak armor that you have to put yourself in as a politician, because it's usually a very thankless job. It's a job that everybody expects what they need and what they want. And you have to be ready to assume the role in the territory, regardless of your own personal circumstances. I can speak to that myself. And so I'm very thankful to my family, who is not a perfect family, but we are still a family. And what warms my heart tonight is seeing here young people like Owen Darrell, Tanae at the back, having access to the minds and the hearts of the people that has endeared them to the political arena, such as Diallo Rabin, the senator, and my junior minister. Renee Ming, a newest candidate who stepped up to face a challenge in the interest of the country, her constituency, and the people she will serve when she's elected in constituency 2 come December 17th. Also Mark Bean, minister, and one of, if not the youngest ministers in the cabinet. And last but not least, someone who is a rising and shining star that you all, if you were tuned in, had an opportunity to witness for yourselves out of Warwick, Mr. Lawrence Scott. This is what bodes well for the Progressive Labour Party, and more importantly, for the people of Bermuda, you, who have a vested interest in this country. Why haven't we done all that people who also have a vested interest as invited guests in this country desire? Because you come first and foremost. And as alluded to by Anthony regarding the infrastructure enhancements that has been prioritized because of what you expect from your leaders in this country, to live the quality of life notwithstanding the challenges that we, along with the rest of the world, have to face in the early days of the 21st century. We're doing it for you. We're service-oriented. We're caring. It is so insulting when people would suggest that we vote on emotion, take care of ourselves, and the like. You should be offended, seriously offended, because it is an indictment on you and your forefathers who gave up their blood, their sweat, and their tears for us to enjoy living on this planet in one of the greatest countries in the world, again, and with respect to those that might disagree, notwithstanding the real challenges that we all face as a human race, no matter where we are on the planet. So we have the political context, and we have the personal accountability context. That's where you come into play. All of us have to have strong shoulders, and your shoulders have to be as strong as ours. Because when you think that we're falling and we need lifting up, it's you that are responsible for lifting us up. Because without you lifting us up, we can't lift us up, meaning all of us together. Don't listen to the rhetorical conversations that after a while become noise, only because it's meant to bring a gray area into the equation. Why? Because gray brings confusion. And as long as you're confused and cannot get the information that you need to rely on making an informed decision, you become very disenchanted. Because after all, we're all only human. And people have been playing tricks on minds of people for a very long time. Very long time. Now, in my private capacity, it's a balancing act. But as Marvin talked about, the equating of all of the elements that bring us forward year after year. We haven't gone backward. We have not gone backward. And every single problem we have in this country is a people problem. If we created the problem, we can sure as heck solve the problem. And we should not depend on someone else doing it for us or expect to be validated by anyone else beside ourselves. We have not been encouraged to celebrate ourselves. You go to a show to support a Bermudian act, and the first thing we tend to want to do is to see, okay, what's wrong? Oh, she's got red shoes on and a black dress, but it's polka dot. Jesus, why couldn't you have? Someone that looks like us in a job, we have a supervisor that looks like us, and we get pat on the back, encouraged, inspired, complimented, and we're like, oh, thank you, we're happy, and we walk out, we feel good. Someone else that doesn't look so much like us does the same thing. We want to go home, take mama for lobster, buy the children a new bike, think we've arrived, and then look down our noses at each other because somebody else has validated us beside us validating ourselves. Then we have a tendency to go silent when a sports editor would criticize your sports minister who's got broad shoulders, so it's okay. But what I can't understand is when that same individual would say about our under-15 cricket team returning from an international commitment, trying their best, but not achieving the result that everybody would have hoped for and desired, and saying that they should be put on the stop list. Or denigrating our national hockey team, who, when Bermuda was hosting an international hockey event, took them to task because they didn't perform up to what he thought should have been the level of their performance. And then we're supposed to expect people to go and train on time and to put their all into it. The same with politicians. That's why I glory in the spirit of people like Owen and Tene and Diallo. Because notwithstanding all of that, they got the courage, the bravery, the understanding, the sensitivity, and the caring for their country to step up to the plate during some of the most difficult times that we in this country and around the world have experienced. So as an employer, I understand real issues. I understand how people feel as a minister because I have a ministry that gauges the social pulse of this community. Financial assistance, child and family services, psychoeducational programs, after-school program, the Mirrors program, the National Stadium, the foster care program. And I could go on. It's about us. And when you have faith in people like us, meaning all of us, in the interest of our country, in serving and delivering on the mandate of the will of the people, we should be respected for the positions we hold. And anybody that disrespects us is insulting you, your intelligence, and your common sense. And you should not tolerate that. This is the most important election. And I can tell you, of all the 36 candidates, when the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party is elected on December 17th, the premier is going to have a very difficult job picking a cabinet. Do you know why? Because every single candidate that's running has the potential to serve in ministerial capacity. She's never going to be short on talent. And that's a testament to the people that have stood for you who continue to stand strong for you, who continue to respond to the challenges of a changing world every single day. Yes, managing a $1.4 billion budget. Do you think that's easy? And would you have any of the opposition candidates, based on their performance today, inclusive of the new candidates, entrusted with the well-being and the future of this country in these challenging times? So with that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I thank those of you from my constituency for the good faith that you've had in me, for the support that you've given me, even in my time of trial and tribulation. You don't know what it meant. I've cried tears. I found it very difficult to get out of bed, just like anyone else going through any particular personal challenge, because life is real. And the one thing we have to do is to live, to learn, to learn, to live. Thank you very much.